What up guys, welcome to your 133rd Android tutorial for the new Boston, where we're just going to work with this touch event that we're getting from our overlay class. And one of the questions that you guys might be asking is, hey, can I just do something like map.setOnClickListener and then create a click method or set a touch method? The problem is, again, like I told you guys in the last tutorial, is the map is already handling so much stuff that when we try to add like a click listener, it's not going to properly work. So that's again why we want to use the overlay class to handle some of those events. And I just pulled up briefly kind of the overlay Java doc that kind of tells you the methods that we can use. And there's a draw method that we might get into on a key down, on key up, on tap, and on touch event, which is what we're going to be working with. We're still going to kind of reference the key down and key up, but in a different way through the event, motion event. So that's kind of what methods the overlay class has for now. There's a few different types of overlays which we'll get into, but again we have this onTouch method or onTouch event method, and what we're going to do is we're going to set up some variables, and they're both going to be long. So we're going to say long starting point, or just start, and we're going to set this, actually let's set this up at the top. Yeah, it looks like I already did. So just create two new variables, start and stop, and what that's going to do is when we press down on our map, which is actually our overlay that we're pressing down, it's going to create a starting point. We're going to get kind of the time when we hit the down button and when we release, and that's going to be our stop, and then we're going to minus those. I'll just get into it. I don't want to, sometimes that gets confusing when we're trying to explain things before we actually do them. So let's just get into it. So again, what we want in this what this touch event method is going to give us is the motion event and the map view. So let's reference the motion event when we say the motion is pressed down. So we're just going to say if, and then our event we called e.getAction is equal to the motion event dot action down. And again, this will be when we're pressing down on our overlay. And what we're going to do is we're going to get the starting point, or the time for the most part, when that event happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our start equal to e.getEventTime, which is a new method that we haven't used yet. That's probably the sole key point of this tutorial, is just getting the event time when an event happens. So that's pretty that's a pretty good method even for like games and stuff like that. If you want to judge the velocity of how fast someone moves from one point to the next, you can do it this way. But again, we're going to set up another if statement when they release. So we're going to say getAction equals motion event dot action action up. Alright, right there. So now when we release, we're going to set up our ending point. So we're just going to say stop is equal to, again, our event when this event happens, action up happens, dot get event time. And lastly, all we're going to do is subtract this time from this time, and if it's greater than like a second and a half, then we're gonna do some sort of a method, which we're going to create an alert dialog, which we kind of talked about, but we're going to go into a little bit more depth in the next tutorial. But so what we're going to say is stop minus start, as long as that's greater than 1.5 seconds. Again, it's in milliseconds here, so this is 1.5 seconds. We're going to perform an action. Well, I'm not even going to leave a comment because it's getting late and it doesn't really matter. But here's, again, this is all we're doing for this tutorial. Is we have our event, which is an overlay type because we extended overlay, and we get the motion event, and we're going to get when they press down and when they press up, and if that total time is greater than 1.5 seconds, we're going to do something here. Otherwise, it's going to return false that this hasn't been handled for the most part. But that's pretty much it for this tutorial again, guys. I'll catch you in the next one where we're going to get into alert dialog a little bit more in depth than we have. Because the last time I used it, I thought I explained it earlier, but I don't think I did. So I'll catch you guys in that tutorial, and have a good one.